When the world gets heavy and the road feels long, someone reaches out and helps you carry on. A simple act of kindness can heal a hurting soul. People helping people is what makes us whole. Every hand we hold, every heart we heal, shows us love is stronger than anything we feel. People helping people, lighting up the night. People helping people, making wrong things right. When we stand together, we can face it all. People helping people, we will never fall. Through the highs and lows, through the pain and fear, people helping people, always standing near. A stranger gives a smile when somebody's down, lifts them from the darkness, turns their life around. Every little moment, every caring deed, people helping people is the world we need. One voice can start a change, one heart can light the flame. And when we come together, nothing stays the same. People helping people, shining like the sun. People helping people, stronger all as one. No matter where we come from, love can lead the way. People helping people, every single day. People helping people, hand in hand we rise, changing lives forever. Opening our eyes. People helping people. That's how hope survives.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday to everybody. I hope everyone's doing great. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Today's conversation is a good one. It has to do with evictions and a little bit about me for friends that don't know me that are joining me. My name is Martha. I'm the founder of ConnectImpact Hub. I'm also an advocate, and we're going to be talking about this topic on evictions because I had a recent case where we had a vet who was experiencing rental arrears, which means that they were unable to pay their rent. So I created a little presentation. If you're here with us, leave a comment, or if you're Team Replay, hashtag Team Replay. And, a lot of the shares that you will hear is because they are inspired by the members that we are supporting. And the information that's being shared is because I actually came across this through the services, through advocacy. So if you have any questions about these programs, do let me know in the comments or send me a message my way. So with that, I am going to bring up the presentation, and I hope you can see it. And if you'd like to join me on stage, please do. I'm going to post the link also on stage to come on stage. So bear with me here while I
Oh my God. I'm in.
Max said we're not on. So let me put us on. Let me see if anyone can hear us, Paulette. I see your screen, but I don't see you. Friends, can you hear us? I just want to make sure they can hear us. Max said he just joined and he doesn't hear us. So friends, can you let us know in the comments if you are able to hear us or no? Let me see. Testing. I'm not sure. I'll put a comment in here. I hope they could hear us. I hear you, Paulette, now. Oh yeah, they're giving us thumbs up, so that's good. Okay, thank you, friends. I appreciate that. I was panicking over here. I was like, no. Okay, thank you. Okay. Paulette? I don't know if I lost Paulette now, but I hope I didn't. I see her on screen. Okay, thanks, Christy. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to go back to the presentation. On screen. Paulette!
Hello, we're here. We made it.
Yay! Okay, I'm going to put my phone down. And I'm going to put the volume. Okay. Thank you so much, Paulette. I'm so glad. And thank you. So evictions is huge, friends. And now we're dealing with, of course, AI is coming. People are afraid of their jobs being lost because of AI. That's another conversation we could also have, Paulette, around tech and looking for jobs. But what are your thoughts, Paulette, with the data? I mean, there's a lot of evictions that are happening daily.
That was Annie deciding to call us. I would suggest that one of the biggest problems that we have is that as soon as we're in a position where, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, as soon as people start talking about unemployment numbers, as soon as people start talking about loss of jobs, as soon as people start talking about zero contract hours, as soon as people start talking about all of these kinds of things, all it does is send absolute panic waves around people that are already, as you said, giving probably 30 or 40, if not 50% of their income just to stay in a house, just to stay housed. And then when they find out that they are housed and that housing is going to get snatched away from them at any moment, they're literally living on a knife's edge. They're living on walking a tightrope of life. And that is the most stressful. And I know I can speak openly. It's the most stressful thing I've ever seen anybody go through. And people close to me have been through it. And it's the most stressful thing to see another human being go through. And I personally think that we have to really think carefully about what damage we're doing. Because when you damage a generation, you damage the generation that follows. So everybody's going to be automatically thinking about when they rent somewhere, they're going to be thinking about when it gets taken away from them. They're not going to be thinking about, this is a lovely place and I've got it for a year, I've signed a 2-year contract. In their mind, they're going to be thinking, yes, but what happens if it gets snatched away from me? And so what we need to try and do is make rental and renting a property safer. Now, I understand if you're the landlord and you are like, you're waiting for that income from the property pays your own rent or your own house or whatever. If you don't get that income coming in, you can't then pay it on. So I understand why there's this flow required. But a 3-day notice, that's like, I'm going to give you till Monday on Friday afternoon. How can you even think about, you haven't got the money to pay your rent. So you certainly haven't got the money to hire a van, to get storage facility, to get somewhere to put all your stuff, because it looks like you're moving into your car and you're thinking about your kids' clothes for school because you don't want the children to feel humiliated about not having their stuff. You got to think about all of that, the humility. Where's the humility? Where's the humanity in all of this? It's so cut and dry. It's either this or it's that. And what we need to do is stop this now, because if we don't, we're going to create a generation going forward of rental fear. People won't want to rent. They'll never leave their homes. They'll be living at home with their parents forever for the fear of this happening to them. And when you think that you're creating damage, mental damage, because you're putting a trauma in that child. Do you remember that year we spent living in the car? Do you remember that year we spent living off everybody's, sofas and here, there and everywhere? When all it needs is a little bit of thought and a little bit of care just to help these people get off of that situation and move forward. Just a little bit of help could save so much. Because if you think of the cost of running the hostels, running the facilities, trying to keep all the people employed who are doing these jobs of offering support and services, if you gave them that support and service at the point of contact when they needed it, then they would have saved themselves a fortune. And that person would be just still in their home, still with their furniture. That child would still be going to the same school. That child wouldn't have to worry about their clothes being crumpled because they've come straight from the laundrette and now in a carrier bag in the back of a car, because that's as good as you get. And you sleep in the boot, on top of all your clothes as a mattress. This is the sort of situation that we have encountered, and we've encountered it. And you've said, why won't you stay in the hostel? And they're like, no, I'm not taking my children there. I'd rather sleep in the car than do that. And then they have to go and find themselves parking in a car park where there's like a retail therapy place, a retail shopping center, a big mall or something, where there are cameras everywhere, and they'll park their car so that they know that when they wake up in the morning, they'll still have wheel hubs and wheels or tires, because otherwise, whilst they're asleep, somebody has jacked their car up and stolen their wheels. Because we've heard that story as well, Martha.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yep.
not lying. This is the
No,
truth. This is
it's true.
really what is happening.
We also have a growing community right now of people living in their cars, Paulette, and particularly our seniors that are on Social Security, that are not qualifying for low income housing because they're not qualifying because there's a long wait list, for example. Some of the wait lists I've heard, in particularly New York, it could be up to 5 to 10 years. I mean, this was on the news. But even from people that I worked with uh, there, who shared that they have been waiting to move from their apartment to another place because their apartment is so run down. That's another problem too when it comes to low income housing. So there's so many different areas that need to be tackled, but if they won't be tackled if we're just sitting and not going to city meetings, speaking about our circumstances. I just had a call yesterday. A gentleman has mice in his house, and it's not livable. And so, I'm like, this is not okay. Like, we pay rent, and if the government pays a portion of the rent, we should be getting taken care of. And I say we, I use that a lot because when I speak about members, I don't want to just point them out, because we're all part of the community. Even if we're living a great life, when we are driving, we will see them in their cars sleeping. We will come across them by the stores. I mean, we'll see children now on the street, and particularly Arizona. There's a group I'm following in Arizona that has been sharing that there's kids out sleeping outside in the parks with their parents. I mean, this is also happening in Los Angeles. And this is America, right? The land of the free. But we are literally dealing with a crisis. And I will bring some research to Paulette at one of our events I'll host about some programs that were designed. There were housing programs that were designed to help the unhoused, but we have vacant properties all over the U.S. that are not moving forward, and that is a crisis in itself. So they do the whole ribbon cutting, and we're going to open this up, and then it never happens. And so that needs attention as well.
That's a newspaper article right there. And you know what? ConnectImpact Hub could be the people that bring it to the newspaper. I'm so ashamed. I'm so ashamed that our our OAPs, who have worked their butts off over the years for their country, they've paid their taxes for years for their country, have ended up living in their cars.
Mm-hmm.
Is it's appalling.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, and it's appalling. And anybody who hears this will be appalled, because you cannot imagine your parents, your grandparents in that predicament, right? You cannot imagine your parents or grandparents in that predicament. And if it were, you would be screaming and shouting at every single person on their behalf. And I fear that, and I'll say this, and I may be wrong for calling it out, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've also heard about mold. I've heard about people having mold crawling up their walls, and people going into hospital with chest complaint after chest complaint, pneumonia, pleurisy, all of the bronchitis, all of the ones that kill old people, the ones that old people do not have the wherewithal to fight, and yet they're being told to stay in these appalling conditions because the rent is cheap. You know, I think that we need to have a complete rethink about whether or not social housing is the way forward and the only way. That you build these complexes where you cut the ribbon, and every single property on that day that that ribbon is cut, the keys are handed out to the people. And if they're not, then don't you dare cut that ribbon, right? Because how dare you take the photograph of cutting the ribbon and then the properties remain vacant. And I for one certainly have been involved in 2 or 3 cases with Martha, and you probably hear I'm as impassioned as she is. And when we hear stories about people who haven't got enough money for food, they don't have enough money to give their children a decent meal, and somebody in the UK is funding it through PayPal, and I'm buying food on, I don't know if it was even called, some butter me up or butter something, I can't remember what it was called, but some charitable institution that you could put money in and they could take the money out and then they could buy the groceries. And I'm like, but why am I doing this? And I'm doing it because there's a lady with 4 kids and they haven't got any, they've literally got nothing in their cupboards. And my heart bleeds that any family should be in that position. And I don't believe any government, I don't care what color government it is, and I'm not talking, I'm just talking blue or red, just for argument's sake. I don't care which side of the fence you sit. You should care about your young. You should care about your old. You should care about your unhoused. You should care about the people on the streets. You should not be talking about bulldozers and using language which is discriminatory, as if that everybody is vermin. How dare anybody treat another human being like that? And that is one of the reasons people don't come forward, because they've got such a complex and such an it's not about ego, it's embarrassment. It's I'm one of those vermin people they were talking about. I'm ashamed of what I've done. You want to give, you want a big bag over your head. It's not me that's in this position. And yet what we want to do is say, let's take away that stigma and let's make this, and this is what this is about. This is what Martha is trying to do, is say to people, there is no stigma. We don't judge anybody. We are here just to help. And the OEPs, the old age pensioners that are living in their cars, that has to stop now in every single state across the land. And when I keep hearing, oh, it's all these foreigners that have got the car, these foreigners have got our housing, I'm sick to death of hearing it. In my country, your country, every country. Look, the world is on the move, whether we like it or not. And whatever we say or do, as I said, blue or red, I don't care. Whoever and wherever we look at this situation, the world is on the move. More people are coming in and out of countries. That means that housing becomes a scarcity. Now, if something becomes a scarcity, that means they can charge what they want for it. They can start putting prices up. They can start not caring about the condition, because you know what you don't take, somebody else will. And so the attitude of the landlord becomes, I am in a superior position. And what we need to do is expose them. I'm up for an absolute let's expose them. I would love to have part of ConnectImpact Hub. There is a page where they can write their comments, and we start calling out landlords. We start calling out states for allowing these conditions, right? Because people are getting sick, and then when they try to get help, they're told they can't have Medicaid. They're told they don't qualify for it. So now we've got a sick person and no money. And what do we do? What does that person do? They've got a fever, they're sweating, they've got an infection. What are they supposed to do? It combines both of the things you talked about. The Monterey leading with health first, and then you've got New York leading with trying to keep people in their homes, both of which are right and correct and work. But together, a joined up approach together, you've got a solution. Neither one of them works on their own. And that's my honest opinion.
Yeah.
Neither one of them work on their own.
You're absolutely correct, Paulette. I've been attending several meetings on a national level, and in particularly also in Los Angeles, surprisingly, because I want to find out what's happening on the floor with the unhoused community, as LA has a very high significant number. So they just launched a program this year, and I promise I will share more, because I get so not excited, but I'm very I love this stuff. Okay. But LA just started a program this year where they're working with other organizations to collaborate to support the in-house community. Now that is absolutely amazing. I love that. However, we're still missing the national collaboration, which we need desperately. And so we got HUD, we got the National Alliance on Ending Homelessness. I've been attending all these meetings. And we're still missing the synchronicity of coming together to support on a national level. We're missing that. And that's something that I've been observing, Paulette and friends that are here with us, is that we are still we're not there, and we're not going to get here together until we start collaborating from the top down. So
sorry, I was speaking, I started coughing. I was just about to say, not only is it's never going to work until it's across the board, and it's got to come from, as you say, central government and then down. And then here's the key for me here, that we can call them out, right? We can actually have a relationship with whichever news broadcaster you want to have. I would be absolutely delighted to see Martha on the television, as I'm sure we all would, shouting out what areas are working and what areas aren't, and why they are and why they aren't. And then maybe local authorities will be like, we don't want that Martha from ConnectImpact Hub talking about us. We better get our act together. And if that's what it takes, then let's do it, right? Because when you're around, like when you're going to LA, or you go into this LA meeting and you're hearing what they're doing, and you say to them, what about all the kids on the park? What about all the people sleeping in the cars? What about this? What about that? And they go, oh, yeah, about that. But let's talk about what we are doing. Let's talk about how we're fixing this problem. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. You've got a colander, you've got a colander with water pouring through every hole, and you're blocking one or two up and thinking you're solving the problem. When actually, What we need is to turn that colander into a bowl, right? We need to save everybody, not the few. And so for me, until they actually step up and create a system that collects everybody and holds everybody and doesn't let anyone fall through the cracks, and then we hold the landlords to account, because they don't have free will to
Right.
put us in appalling conditions. They
Yeah.
don't have that option.
No, they don't. And also, Paula, as you were saying, us, people in the communities online, we are community. So we actually have a lot of authority. We may not think so, but our voice does. And the moment we start sharing out loud about our own personal experience with so and so, with, whatever experience you've had, like Christy put in the comments here that she lived in her car for some time, you know, and the rent cost is way too high. How can people survive if their rent is $1,500 and maybe they're making minimum wage? It could be $13, $15. I mean, that's not enough to pay for rent, still have food. So it is something that needs more
Don't
attention.
forget as well that when the gas price has gone through the roof,
Oh yeah,
the cost of food has gone through the roof,
yeah,
right? So your
right,
two basic necessities, getting to work and getting back from work,
yeah.
picking the children up or not picking the children up, getting food, feeding the kid. The two necessities are food and gas to get you to and from work. And those two are now eating up into the whatever was left, right? So instead of being able to say, okay, I'm going to put $100 away, bomb, into my just in case pot, right? My just in case teapot that I keep my money in for my just in cases, right? There's nothing in the in fact, there's IOUs, right? Because you've had to borrow out of the teapot. You owe the teapot, because you're now living in with a if you take an accounting term, you're now living in deficit. You're now living in a negative. So you're in the red before day one. By the time you paid your rent and your utilities, you're out. You're
Yep.
spent. And then you've got gas, you've got food, and you've got whatever the children need, whether they need new shoes, new sneakers, whatever. You can go shopping in the charity shops. You can do all these things. Of course you can, but you can't go eating in the charity shops. I know the Too Good To Go things are huge now. I mean, every company I know is offering some kind of, rather than put this food in the bin, please come and collect it. I
Yeah.
know those offers, but you've got to have a vehicle and petrol to go and get them,
Mm-hmm.
or
So
the money.
yeah, and so for friends that don't know what Too Good To Go is, it's a organization that it's like kind of reminds me of DoorDash, Uber Eats. You go in, they'll have certain food places that will have food for a very fraction of the price. Even stores are listed there. Whole Foods, which is a very popular store here in the US. And you can go in and I actually tested it out, Paulette. I bought me a bag of $6. And then I also got donuts for the unhoused members. And I ended up getting a box. And then the owners donated a couple more boxes to pass out to the unhoused members. So if you just tell them what you're doing, or maybe you're in house, they may even give you free food. You never know.
And that comes back down to, and I've done this, Mom will tell you I've done it, and that's how she knows about it, because I went and did it. I went and asked, what do you have that's free? Sorry. What do you have that's free? Why? Because I'm going to take it up to the park where I live, which is where the kids hang out, where the kids that should be at school hang out, the troubled few, not the numbers that we talk about in America, but we have enough of an issue. And they were like, here, have a box of donuts for them. Here, take this. Here, take that. And I was like, no, 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 it's fine. It's fine. And then they were like, does your husband like gardening? And I was like, yeah. Would he like some coffee grounds? So it's really good for the ground. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And the next thing, and I'm walking out with this man who's got a black sack full of coffee grounds to put in my car. And Charles is like, I don't want his coffee grounds. I'm like, be grateful for the coffee grounds. The point is, if you're prepared to open your mouth and ask, that's all I'm going to ask of you today. I'm going to ask you to put the ego to one side. I'm going to ask you to stop thinking, what will they think of me? Because do you know what? All they'll be thinking of you is, it could be me. What they'll be thinking is, how close have I been? Do I have a family member in the same position? Nobody is judging you. So the point is, ask. And you haven't got to do a big, I'm homeless. Just walk in quietly, go to the counter and say, do you have anything for too good to go? Because I'm homeless and I'm in trouble here. And I just need a hand. I just need help. I just need help. And you know what? I don't believe anyone will turn you away. I don't believe it. I honestly believe that the way that the world is now is everyone is thinking this could be me. Everybody is thinking this could be my grandparents. This could be my son. This could be my daughter. No one is thinking about how far you are away from it. Now it's become closer and closer and closer because, as you said, it's one paycheck. It's one paycheck.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And regarding the food too, we'll talk about that also. But I know we're getting on time, friends. This has been such a good conversation to have. But the takeaway here is speak up, friends. You know, don't sit in the dark by yourself. Even for the job seekers too. If there's a job that you need, go and present yourself. You know, go in person. If you need help with the resume, reach out. Now we got, AI that can help us create the resumes. And if you need printing, let us know. Um, there's also local organizations that will be happy to print out to help you find a job. It's Workforce Solutions. It's in every state. There's also the temp agencies. So there's alternatives. And of course, there's also there's gray areas in those as well. So working through them, how do we get through those gray areas? All right, Paulette, any last words before we go?
Take myself off mute before I carry on speaking. I think that the most important message that we can give you, and it's a message from our hearts to your hearts, and it is that if you don't ask, you don't get. And if you don't let people know, I mean, if you're homeless, do not be ashamed. If you have found yourself unhoused because of circumstances, do not feel ashamed. Understand that you are one of many, not one of a few. You know, this is the difference now. Maybe in time gone by, there were like 5%, 3%, 1%, whatever. The numbers now are horrific. And I know that Martha will have all that information and that will all be coming. But believe you and me, I want Martha on that television and I want her shouting the case in every single county, in every single part of every single state, to say what is the facilities for this, what do you have for that, why is that not as good as that, why is there not the money being put aside for it? And this is what we're going to do at ConnectImpact Hub, is we are about connecting, but we're also about taking the message and shouting about it and making a lot of noise on your behalf. But you have to do the thing for us. which is you have to make the noise for yourself,
Right.
advocate for yourself, and demand help. And when you're asking for help from different organizations, tell them, the whole story. Be as truthful and honest as you can be. Authentic stories are far more listenable than I lost my job. It's more than I lost my job. And then it's on top of that, it's the children and what it's doing and how it's affecting. So please do not think that you don't have to be honest and tell all the story. You need to give every detail, and those details are what will get you into your next home or keep you in the one you're in.
Thank you so much, Paulette. Christy is going to be joining us for a live event on July 8th. Christy has put some comments in our chat, and for some reason, Christy, they're not crossing over here, but I do see them, so I'm going to share them really quick. Christy said, loss of all your personal belongings is traumatic. She said she lived in her car for some time. When she was working, she couldn't afford rent plus food or a car. So look out for that. We will be posting that invitation this weekend, so you can come and get to know Christy's story. And she's got an amazing share for the world to hear. And I hope you can come and support this event by joining us on July 8th. As far as we will be on bi-weekly, if there's a topic that you'd like us to discuss, please leave it in the comments. Send us a message through our website, which will be in the bio of this event. And if you'd like to connect with me personally, connect with me on LinkedIn or Paulette. We're both on LinkedIn. And again, we want to thank you so much for staying with us a little over time now, but thank you. And we hope to see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much. And I'm just going to play a couple of tunes. It'll be quickly, and I hope you enjoy. Inspired by Paulette.
When the world gets heavy and the road feels long, someone reaches out and helps you carry on. A simple act of kindness can heal a hurting soul. People helping people is what makes us whole. Every hand we hold, every heart we heal, shows us love is stronger than anything we feel. People helping people, lighting up the night. People helping people, making wrong things right. When we stand together, we can face it all. People helping people, we will never fall. Through the highs and lows, through the pain and fear, people helping people, always standing near. A stranger gives a smile when somebody's down, lifts them from the darkness, turns their life around. Every little moment, every caring deed, people helping people is the world we need. One voice can start a change, one heart can light the flame. And when we come together, nothing stays the same. People